Hey, Robert, this is Christian here to take down your transmission 5-45 RFE. Hopefully, you can hear me just fine. And a little bit of history about this is if you've heard of a 604 transmission or a 606 that went into the Chrysler and Dodge minivans back a long time ago. Um, Somebody come up with the idea and said, let's make those into a rear-wheel drive car. And you'll see, if you look it up on the internet and look at the breakdown of a 604 transmission, 606, and this transmission here, you'll see it's got the same drums, uh, pretty much the same power flow. It's got a little bit of difference to it. They didn't make them for very long. I think they discontinued these in 2011 and come up with the next transmission. And yeah, they put these in vehicles that was meant for a minivan and put these in trucks and told people it's okay to tow things with them, like boats and RVs and things like that. So it didn't really quite work out well. So they weren't in production that long. I'm thinking off the top of my head, it was 5 years maybe they made them. Because I know they started off with the 4-speed, and this is the 5-speed version, which is basically the same thing. Valve body and stuff's a little bit different. A little difference inside, but not much, just to make it the 5-speed. But anyway, sorry, I do tend to talk a lot. I like to let people know a little bit of history about their transmissions and stuff, and what's going on with them. So let's get going on it. First off, let's get your speed sensors out. Your input and output speed sensor right there. It's a 8mm bolt that holds them in. And this is the bolt. Over here, like I was telling you, it's hard for me to clean cases cases on the outside off because I don't have a cooker, but I do have the green tank over here that I clean all the inside parts, scrub down the inside of the case with a brush and stuff, get it all clean. It's more important to get the inside clean than it is the outside. So, and I know we were talking the other day. And your concern was your radiator had leaked or had busted and got into the transmission, shifting fine for a while, and then eventually just started to slip. So hopefully it's not that bad, but water can cause some damage. And we'll just see what we find when we get in here. As I pull things out, I always put them in the basket over there, get ready to clean. And then you'll hear me say kit a lot because a lot of things people don't realize come in a kit, especially the kits that I buy. All the updates, necessary seals, bushings, things like that. Sealant rings. These are always tight to get out. Pretty much the same thing. Input and output speed sensor. If you can see that little, it's like a yellow ring around it. That's an O-ring that comes in the kit. I'll be changing that. You didn't mention anything about codes or anything like that in it. Usually these are fine. They last quite a while. They last for a long time, actually. Sometimes you'll have problems with them. I mean, don't get me wrong. But that's your input and output speed sensor. Set it over there. This is your selector. Basically right now I'm just getting everything off as much as I can because it's hard enough without all this stuff on, wrestling this transmission around on the bench. So try to get everything off as much as I can, and don't want to break things either, especially speed sensors. They can be a little pricey at times. It's your selector. Definitely don't want to bend it up or anything, so try to take it off. It'll rust it, but actually that's kind of common on these. Just kind of pry to get it off. Hopefully you can see me. I may adjust the camera at certain points, or I may have to get into an area where you won't see me, because sometimes I have to get in the way. Set this over to the side. Now, turn it around here because you got another sensor that we don't want to break and we want to get it off. It's right here by the tail housing, the rear of the transmission. So let's go ahead and see if we can get that off. This one's in a little bit harder place, and you've seen how the other ones come out. They were giving me a little bit of trouble. That's okay. How it is sometimes. Everything can't be easy. It's an 8mm that holds it on too. Rusty like them, like always. That over there. All right, see if we can get this out. It's starting to jiggle. There we go. It's a little bit smaller one, so you can see clearly that there's two blue O-rings on it. That comes in the kit. Change them so that way you got new seals on it and won't leak. That over there to be clean. So you mostly got all these, tail housing bolts off. There's some right there. Let's get the rest of them off. We can get this tail housing off. Get out of our way a little bit. I said it's always easier to just try to get as much as you can out of the way. Bolts in there to be clean. Alrighty. This little tap. Alrighty. I see that milkiness right there. That's from the fluid. See that there? I'm sure you can. It's from the water being in the transmission. We'll scooch it down a little bit more here. Yeah, there you go. Get you a little better angle. Common with Dodges and Chryslers, whatever you want to call them, Dodge, Chrysler, the same thing, is that they use a lot of silicone instead of gaskets. So that don't come in the kit. I do have high temp silicone that I put these back together with. It's usually the black just like this or the gray type. Either one of them works great. You just don't want to use the red, blue, anything like that, because they're not made for transmission fluid like the black and the gray are. So put that to the side right there. Alrighty. Looks like we got all that off right there. This right here, you'll see here in a minute, all that is just like a Frisbee, aluminum Frisbee. So a lot of the times you can knock these out, no problems. Sometimes you do have problems with it and wind up breaking it because it's a real thin piece of metal. So I'm going to try to get it out best I can. If not, then I'll have to get this replaced. They're usually not that too expensive. So while we're right here, let's go ahead and get the snap rings off of it. That way we don't have to worry about it when it's all flipped over. Just kind of work it around. Got a little one right here. Sorry, I'm going to have to get in your way. Like always, everything's rusted up. Always a pain in the butt. Start working around. There you go. Doesn't matter that I bent it because it comes in your kit, believe it or not. So, good there. Set over to the side for right now. Then you got a bigger snap ring up here that we got to get out. Usually it's a little bit easier. So sorry, I'm going to be in your way for a minute or two. This one, I just got to get behind it. And almost got it there. All right, so just take the finger, just run it around, and that's that snap ring. So now, set that to the side. Let's go ahead and turn it on its side or its back. And start with the, continue on. Get the valve body and solenoid pack off. 8mm bolts for the pan. I don't know if you can see it, but fluid's really coming out watery. I think you said you flushed it. Sometimes it just, those flushes just don't get everything out. A lot of times they don't, honestly. Got all the boats off. Hopefully you can hear me. I got the fan on. It's kind of hot out here. Alright. This is the same thing. You got a silicone gasket that I'll scrape off there. Let's go back to building it. That pan's got a lot of wet fluid in it. A little bit of metal. You're always going to see some metal anyway on your transmission. It's a wear and tear item. Not a whole lot, so that's a good thing. And set it over here. Alright. You got like one bolt holding this one on. This filter, you got two filters here. One bolt holding that on. And that's usually like a 25, 27, T25, T27. So get that off here real quick. Just a little bolt holds it on. Of course, I'm also, I don't know if I mentioned it, I always make a little baggie for people that I put all the parts that I don't use, like your lip seal, sealing rings, O-rings, filters, all that. This don't come in the kit, but we're going to get one of these. Set it over here. And then we'll get this off. Get it out of our way. Get 15. I have to knock it off. Let's get it to unscrew. Just basically like a motor oil filter. And it don't matter if we tear it up a little bit, because it's going to get replaced anyway. Nice. If I had my other smaller oil filters, I think I left it outside. There we go. Some screws. That's how it looks. That'll get replaced too. Damage I done getting it off. No big deal, it gets replaced. Set it over here for your baggie. Alrighty. You got a bunch of boats here for your valve body. 25s, 27s, 8 millimeters. The 8 millimeters are the ones that you take off to get the valve body off. The others take the valve body apart, and that's what I'll do when I go to build it. Just take it completely apart, clean it up real good, do the updates to it. The updates include different springs, things like that. So it's about all that holds it on. Put it over here. That's it. hot out here. One thing we want to check on these sometimes. This is your accumulators here. I'll be taking this plate off. Hopefully you can see that. There's a plate, kind of a funny looking plate. Your accumulators are in the valve body on this one. Like when they did the 604 front wheel drive, the accumulators were mostly inside the case. They moved them around to the valve body on the rear wheel drives. Sometimes this plate does break. Most of the time it don't, but sometimes it does. What I'll be doing is taking this apart because your accumulators have seals on them, like a piston. So I'll be changing those. We've got a couple little seals here that I'll be changing. Right here, right there, and of course the solenoid pack. Just like with the 604, it was common that you change the solenoid pack because they're really not a good design. So get your new solenoid pack on there. And that's about it. I'll take the rest of it out, clean it up when I go to build it. Right now we're going to sit it down to let it drain. Get some of that fluid out. All right, let's turn this a little bit or flip it. Get some of this fluid out a little bit out of our way. See if we can get this this piece out here without damaging it. So, but like I said, if I do, they're not that expensive. Alrighty. Sometimes you can come in from the back, give them just a little tap. There we go. Looks like it's starting to come out. Well, we can just get in here with a screwdriver or a scribe, kind of work our way around. Sorry, I'm going to have to get in your way a little bit. What holds this in here besides the snap rings is it's got O-rings on it too. Gotta get up in there and hook onto it and work it around. There we go. Alrighty. Popped on out. In just a second. You got seals right there. Had to get replaced. Comes in the kit. Set that over to the side. And you've got a seal right here too for the centerpiece. That comes in your kit. It's more of a square cut, D cut O-ring. That'll come in your kit. Now you just got this pump here. See how everything's just out in the open. The next model that they come out with, done away with that cap, hub cap, whatever you want to call it, and it went back to having a full valve body. I mean, not valve body, but pump. Covered everything. You can see there's a lot of things that hold your pump together. But these 10mm bolts is what takes it out. Usually it slides right out. So my 10mm here. Trying not to get my bandage too dirty. But kind of impossible when you're working out here like this. 10mm bolts, clean them up, put those in the basket. And just like that, it just slides out. No pump puller needed or anything like that. These pumps are usually good. There's some seals here that will get replaced. That's on your stator. There's some springs also inside the pump, just like a valve body. Those will be taken out, cleaned up, also updated with, there's a couple of updates for the valves and springs. So that'll be updated as well. So always go through it once I build it. Now let's get your main drum out here. And this is where you're going to see that there is a 604, 606 drum. Little bit bigger. It still is what it is. So there's a bearing here underneath of it that rides up against the pump. Those are usually good. Thrush bearing, thrush washer, whatever you want to call it. There's seals in here that'll get replaced. Let's go ahead and get this apart. Check your clutches and things out. Got to sit here. First set is your reverse. You've always, no matter what transmission it is, no matter if it's a Dodge, Ford, whatever, you've always got reverse clutches in the front and reverse clutches in the back, or a band in the back. This one's got a clutch pack. You've always got two sets, no matter what it is. It's actually called low reverse in the back. This one is called just reverse. In some other transmissions, they'll also work in third gear, so they call them reverse direct clutches. Get the snap ring off the floor. Usually just two clutches to it. Not much in the front part as in the back. This part's in there a little tight, so you just kind of go work with it all the way around to you. So it pops out. These hubs will come out too once I get the other snap rings out. There we go. So all you do is just work it around. There's your hubs. Alrighty. Let's look at these clutches here. Those are burnt black, as you can see, especially the steel also. So we're going to have to get a steel for it also. Basically, I'll get a kit with steels. That's what I usually do. What this is supposed to look like is a real bright yellow color. Some of them look like a greenish color. It depends on what manufacturer they have at the time that WIT is getting their parts from. But most of the time it's Raybestos, and they're yellow. Sometimes they're red Raybestos, but most of the time they're yellow. So those get replaced along with your steels. Set it over here. This is your hubs. Most of the time these are just fine, and the splines are good. You've got a thrush washer bearing, said whatever you want to call it, that rides on that, and that's good too. You got another big one right there. Set it over to the side. That'll get cleaned up. And you got another thrush washer bearing. And this other one will come out as soon as I start getting these others out. This next set is your overdrive set. The bottom, it's got 3 sets in it. The top is reverse. overdrive and then underdrive. Underdrive is they call it underdrive, but it's mostly your input or forward clutches. As soon as you put it in gear, that's the clutch that comes on first in drive. There's the pressure plate for that. There's the hub. Same thing. It has a bearing on it also as well. Every time you have a hard gear like this, this is actually for your input or forward clutches. Little one's your reverse, and this one's your overdrive. Set that to the side to get cleaned up. Get the rest of these clutches out. We've got another snap ring here underneath this pressure plate. It is a wavy one. Show it to you. See how it's wavy compared to a normal snap ring. Okay. What that waviness is for is basically just a cushion, just an added cushion, even though you have accumulators for giving cushioning when it shifts. A lot of the times they'll either, in a transmission, they'll have either a wavy snap ring or a wavy plate underneath the clutches. So, like I said, this is your overdrive clutches and pressure plate. They're the same way. Burn up. Supposed to look like a real bright yellow color. Basically, what I'm seeing here so far is just worn out. I can't remember how many miles you told me it's got on it, or if you did, but certainly the water didn't help it. But it's burn up. Set it over to the side. Get your last set of clutches out. There's them right there. And that's your forward clutches. Underdrive, whatever you want to call it. They got different names for things. I just call it as it is, as what it works for everybody to, most people to understand. This one has got a snap ring in it that is tapered. So the best way to get it out is take a scribe, put it in there tightly up against the drum as best you can, and try to get behind it by tapping it. Like I said, try to get behind it. Let's get a little bit more harder surface here. Sometimes I may have to get another screwdriver in here. A small one, if I can get behind it. So, sorry you're not able to see this. It's just I can't do this and show it at the same time unless I had some kind of headset on. But right now I've got a hold of it with the screwdriver because I'm finally behind it. And I'm going to take another screwdriver, start prying it out. And I just put it back in its place. Which happens sometimes. I need to stop talking for a moment. Okay. Get it up. Looks like my finger is bleeding a little bit. Sorry, I'm just going to get on the transmission. It's not completely healed yet, but I'll clean the blood off. So that's this snap ring. It's tapered right there. You can barely see it, but it fits up in there real tight. So that's why you got to use a few tools here to get it out. Then you're able to get your pressure plate out. And then, as like the other one, you've got another snap ring, and it usually just pops right out. And it's a flat one. And then let's get these out. And that is the last of her clutch. I'll explain this part here in just a few minutes. Let's take a look at these clutches and steels first. As I was kind of expecting, especially on input clutches that come on underdrive. This technically is called underdrive, but it's input clutches, forward clutches that come on all the time. The steels are usually burn up. So, like I said, that's why most of the time you get a kit with your steels, because over time your steels burn up anyway, along with it. Alrighty. When I go to build this, this is basically like one big piston. Not one, but about 3 different pistons. This is your first piston right here. And you can see the rubber. You can see that black rubber right there. That is called a molded piston, where the seal is made into the piston. This is your other piston. And on it, as well as this piston, is lip seals on the inner, inside, and the outside, along with some O-rings that's along this shaft that all get replaced. I'll put the old ones in your little baggie. That way you have them. And go ahead and get this all back together and make a little room over here. I have like a little cart that I put things on, so that way it gets everything out of the way. Alrighty. Now what we got, there is a plastic washer. Comes in the kit. Set it to the side for right now. The washer's good. It's fine. It's just sometimes they put those in the kit. Oh, and also another thing, let's go over front seal get replaced. There's also, I'm sorry, I'm bleeding everywhere. There's also a pump bushing in here that comes in your kit that'll be replaced, along with a few of these bushings, if you could see them right there. As soon as I get it out, I will show it to you. Let me get the snap ring for it, or snap ring tool for it. And usually you could just get in here like this, like so. It's not usually a lot of pressure on it. So you just work it out just like that. See this ply, the way this tool is designed is for not for you to just get the snap ring out, but it brings it up to you. That way you can fit your hand in here, hold on to it, otherwise it'll snap back. Just kind of work it around. they don't really make this tool anymore. I really like this tool. Not here in the US. I had to get this one all the way from Australia, believe it or not, when I bought it, because this tool often breaks. What I like about it is soft metal. You can bend it to whichever transmission you're working on, whichever application you're doing. So it's a nice tool to have. Matco tools are the ones that used to make them. Now you can barely find them. It's got a tapered edge on it as well. What that does is rest against the case, helps that stay in there. Alrighty, now we've got your, this is like your center support. It also has your 2 4 clutches in it. Sometimes we can just do this, give it a little wiggle, and it'll come out. Might have to get another tool in here, get it out. Sometimes if you get a good grip on it, that's it. Just like any other transmission, everything's got to be tight in place. So just got to take your time, wiggle it out, try not to cock it. Otherwise, you got to start all over. Sometimes I'll have to turn this upside down and it'll fall out, but it looks like it's coming out, and it is, which is a good thing. Let's get my scribe in here. Alrighty. There we go. Alrighty. That's out. Or it's loose at least. Hopefully you can still hear me. My green light's on my microphone. Alrighty. We'll go over that ring gear in just a sec. Well, this ring gear here, it's in really good shape, and most of the time they are. This also has a hub on it, plastic washer that fits down in here. For these clutches here, your 2 4 clutches. Also got those clutches in the back. That's what this piston is for. And that piston to get replaced as well. Check the clutches out. See, they're burnt. Clutches are not too bad. Just like I said, it's usually on your input clutches they're always getting really burnt. You just set this back in here, kind of put the snap ring in it, set it to the side. Leave it like that. Set it over. Brush washer, good shape. Let me wipe my finger off real quick. Sorry. This happened yesterday, but still it's not completely healed. So let's carry on. Another bearing fits up against this ring gear here. Or not the ring gear, but your sun gear. Sorry, I'm in your way. Put that there in the center is your sun gear. We'll take a look at it here in just a minute. This here, snap ring here, is really loose. And you can just go in there, reach in and grab it and get it out. What this does is it just, the center support that we just pulled out, once it's in there, it sits on top of that. Basically sits even and level on top of that. And then let's get this out. These just slide out. That was your sun gear that I was referring to. Your planetary system, which is always good. It's also got a bearing underneath this gear. Let's go ahead and get these clutches out. Usually these clutches are not as bad, but still, sure, they're still burnt. Steel's not that bad, but they'll get replaced anyway. So let's set this over to the side. Alrighty. Let's see if it's going to work with me here. Not. Excuse me, I'm going to have to get your way. Alrighty. There we go. Back in. This that come out from the rear is your park gear. Big old gear. Usually are just about all transmission. All this here that's left. Just more planets. Your output shaft, which is just fine. I'll take it apart. Take everything apart once I clean it. Make sure everything's cleaned up real good. Especially when I get that water out of there. And we've got this left in the back. Now that again. And I get some fluid out of the way so we can see what we're doing here. Sorry if I'm getting in your way here. Just got to see where the opening is. So that way I know where I stick my screwdriver and work it around. And it is a little tight fit, as always. Especially when something's all the way in the back of the case. Makes it a little hard to see everything. There we go. Let's sit here and just work with it. There we go. All right. Got it out. So what should we do? It's not a real, usually not a real heavy one. So you can sometimes just get it, put your hand in here and work it out. Get the screwdriver back here. Work it out a little more. just like the other one. It's got a tapered end. Probably can't see it. Usually this just slides out. Like I said, usually. There we go. This thing gets it all started. You can see that's the last thing in your case, and that's your low reverse clutches. Come on. Okay. Put it up now. Okay. This is your reverse drum. It's got a piston in there. Low reverse clutches. Of course, they're burnt too. To get replaced, comes in your kit. So that's it. So pretty much everything I thought it would be is you're going to need a kit with steels, your filters, your solenoid pack, and torque converter, and then do all the updates to it. Get it cleaned up real good. Sorry for bleeding all over your case, but it'll get clean. It'll get cleaned up. If you have any questions, just let me know. You have a great day.